If you're working with a platform that's using the exact same audiences, the exact same data, that's going to be used by multiple brands, where's the opportunity for your brand to stand out?
Bruce, thank you so much for coming into the Current studio today.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
So this is my favorite question to ask. If you had to say what your most unpopular opinion is, your most debatable opinion, what would it be?
About advertising?
About advertising. Well, or the new Taylor Swift album.
I'd have to talk to my kids about that one. So mostly it's that everyone thinks that it is easy. I would argue it's getting harder every single day, despite what we're seeing with AI, despite what we're seeing with automation and just the expectations there. Advertising is getting much, much harder.
And is the difficulty due to complexity?
At dentsu, a lot of the things that we talk about is like we're living in the algorithmic era.
Yeah.
Algorithms are taking control and just flattening brands, and everything that we're having to deal with in terms of just like how do you make sure you're cutting through, you're designing experiences, you're making opportunities that are going to be bold for clients, cut through and resonate with consumers. It's just getting much, much harder.
Yeah, this phrase, flattening brands, is so intriguing.
Yes.
Tell me more.
I mean, it's just, when you think about what algorithms are doing, like they're optimizing everything to a mean. Like, so there's a lot of an argument out there that it's about audiences and data that are all just common. If you're working with a platform that's using the exact same audiences, the exact same data, that's going to be used by multiple brands, where's the opportunity for your brand to stand out? Where's the opportunity for your brand to cut through and be able to resonate? And so when you think about what that means and you think about the opportunities that the platforms have when they are doing that, it really is this idea that brands get flattened, they get regressed to a mean. I think in yesteryear we'd have said sea of sameness, like all of those types of things that are just happening out there as a byproduct of the platforms that we're operating with, the platforms we're engaging with, and it goes back to kind of the opening question there. It's getting more difficult to actually stand out in this world of automation and algorithms.
So what is the antidote to that? How do brands stand out today?
I think, one of the opportunities is like really think about your unique assets and how you're leveraging those most impactfully. You're using those to your advantage. So like, how are you thinking about your data and your understanding of your customer? How are you using that in order to push your information into the platform to take control back? It's one of the biggest opportunities you have is think about what's your unique assets and how you're putting them in. It's not just data, it can be creative, composition, just different ways in which you think about how you're just using all of your uniqueness to go into the platform. That's where you're going to find you can steer the algorithm and you can control it to deliver those experiences you want with clients.
Along these lines, so a chief media officer, a chief marketing officer, and a chief creative officer walk into a bar today. What do they talk about?
Well, they're going to start off by talking about AI and what's your plan for AI to deliver efficiencies for your business in the next 6 months. It's probably going to be their opening comments. I think that all of them right now are all looking at the same things. It's a challenging climate in today's marketplace. I go back to, again, where we started. It's not easy out there today. And they're going to be talking about what do they have to do to meaningfully move the business, like how are they understanding where their customer is, where their customer is going to be in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months.
So Dentsu and Snap recently came out with a study about interest in women's sports and found a really interesting stat, I thought, which was that 62% of sports fans follow women's sports. I'm curious for you, was there a stat or was there an insight that stood out, and how are you taking that and advising brands?
The number one thing is sports is not just a moment. It's not just the event itself. I think for us, it's oftentimes, it's not just about buying a sponsorship. It's not just about buying a spot in a big game. It's not just about, thinking about a logo slap. It's the entire experience. I think you have to think very purposefully about how are you engaging pre-event, post-event, and going back to the research itself. It's one of those where if you can tap effectively into the athletes, like there's a real platform just to tell a story and really tap into those moments that can have a much more permeating effect than just that moment of sports.
Bruce, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been great to get your thoughts.
Thanks for having me.